Can I beat the original campaign in For the King on the hardest difficulty without any of my characters dying and without losing any of the sanctuaries? For the King is a tabletop-inspired roguelike that doesn't pull any punches. From the moment you start, the game warns you about its unforgiving challenge. RNG plays a huge role in For the King since it's a roguelike game. It affects nearly every aspect of the game: map layouts, enemy encounters, loot drops, attack rolls, dodges, you name it. For this challenge, I've tried to minimize the impact of lag by devising a special strategy. Fair warning, this strat is pretty cheesy, but it's also surprisingly effective. If you're planning to take on this challenge yourself, I recommend trying it before watching the rest of the video. On Master difficulty, the game raises the stakes significantly. Enemies gain 10% HP boost, chaos generates much faster, the life pool is set to 0 and the inflation rate is set to 100%. Among these, chaos is by far the most impactful. The chaos meter located at the top of the screen beneath the timeline fills every 4 turns on Master difficulty. Each chaos point increases enemy HP further and spawns dangerous navigation hazards on land hexes. These hazards can curse your characters, poison them, or even destroy items in their inventory. Finally, there's total chaos. When the chaos meter fills completely, enemies gain a massive 160% HP buff, and to make things worse, the chaos beast is unleashed upon the land, a foe so deadly it's best avoided completely. I start the journey by selecting 3 characters for my party. And this is where my choices might surprise some of you, as I'm picking 2 buskers and 1 trapper for my party. In a typical playthrough, it is a good idea to create a diverse party with unique strengths, preferably with characters that move fast so that they can take action before enemies do. Still, I've decided to pick 2 buskers who are very slow, but they do possess a special passive skill, which is begging for money. These characters could have been replaced by the Gladiator class, which is far superior and has the best starting equipment in the game, but since they are DLC characters, we are just gonna roll with buskers. As for the 3rd character, I've decided to pick the Trapper, as I need someone who is actually fast. Hunter might have been a better choice as he is even faster, but the elite ambush skill that the Trapper possesses will prove useful later in the run. So for the actual game plan, I will focus solely on 1 character in this run, which is obviously going to be the Trapper Lady. The Trapper Lady will have the privilege of claiming every item and deciding what to wear, optimizing her gear for maximum effectiveness. Meanwhile, the beggars will make do with whatever unwanted scraps she leaves behind, equipping only the leftover items. The reasoning behind the strategy is simple. Each enemy has a fixed maximum damage value. If a character's armor stat is equal to or greater than this maximum damage, they become effectively immune to that enemy's attacks and won't take any damage. The only exceptions to this are piercing attacks, which completely ignore armor, and critical hits, which increase an enemy's maximum damage by 25%. I started by picking up 2 quests with gold rewards to gather enough money to buy all the necessary items for the Trapper's survival, most importantly, a hand cannon. But wait, the hand cannon is supposed to be a weapon for a character with a high strength attribute, as it's used to determine the success of each roll. Why would a Trapper use it? Simply because we can guarantee the success of each attack by using the focus. Focus is a unique mechanic in the game that has various use cases. During the combat, each spent focus point guarantees the success for 1 dice roll. Since the hand cannon uses only 1 roll for each attack, 1 focus is enough to never miss a shot. With the high AoE damage and enough speed, we can finish the battle before enemies make a move. The problem right now is that the Trapper has only 3 focus slots. We will need more, much more. One way to increase focus is by equipping certain items. I head to town to buy every focus related item and restore my focus by spending 7 gold to meditate. Now, another important thing to mention is how inflation works in this game. When we start the game, all items have fixed base price. Prices will increase only when we progress further in the storyline by defeating the first mini-boss in the mines. I hate inflation so much that I've decided to not complete any of the main quests that I've been given. So here's a few clips of me carelessly ignoring the storyline and increasing the gun violence in Faru.
like my mom and dad. Do you give lessons on how to love? You is my poetry, simple and small. I like to stay in bed on Mondays. I wanted you to know.
With each level, base damage value is increased by 1. In one of my previous videos I explained how I extracted monster data. With this data I can calculate enemies' HP based off chaos level and figure out whether they will die in one hit or not. Moreover, the data includes enemy speed, which tells me if I'm going to act before my enemies or not. Additionally, I use this data to evaluate whether my armor is sufficient to withstand enemy attacks or if certain enemies might drop useful items. For example, bees have a chance to drop an item that permanently increases resistance, which can be a valuable boost early on. This brings me to the final piece of the strategy. I need to accumulate up to 12 resistance as soon as possible. Why 12, you may ask? Well, turns out inflation is not the only thing that will stay intact as long as we don't progress in the main storyline. As you may have noticed, my chaos meter is nearly full. When that happens, the chaos beast will be unleashed. However, the chaos beast will be only level 2 right now and his maximum damage will be exactly 12 magic damage. That means that the Trapper Lady will be unfazed every time she encounters the beast, even though it will pose a significant threat to other party members. Here I've stumbled upon the beast while moving with the Trapper. I've encountered him on high grass, which increases the area from which the combatants will be brought to the battle. That's why my 2 gold diggers are forced to participate. Luckily, not only are they amazing beggars, but also they need only one successful roll to escape from the battle. They really focus on that task as if their lives were at stake. That leaves the battleground with the immovable object versus unstoppable force. Turns out the Chaos Beast is immortal. He will respawn on each player's turn and ambush them all the time when the Chaos meter is filled. That essentially means that my beggars cannot move at all, so they do not get ambushed. To make things worse, when the chaos is full, each player takes 3 damage at the end of their turn. And the final nail to the coffin is that the beggars are unable to receive their hard-earned money as long as the chaos meter is filled. Oh yeah, also the Chaos Beast is a cheapskate as he doesn't leave any gold, items nor experience and also nullifies the chance for any other encounter other than himself. Which leaves me no other choice than to deal with the chaos. Thankfully, that's a relatively easy task as each time the chaos meter fills up, the chaos monument spawns on the map. If I succeed in destroying the chaos monument, the chaos is reduced by 1. It is a strength-based check that requires 4 successful rolls, that's why focus is essential to destroy the monument. With chaos reduced, my gold diggers can return back to work. They are placed next to the Dark Carnival, which lets them work day and night. The higher level the beggars are, the better profit they make. Also, I give them every item that increases the profit even further. And that's their life right now, at least for the next several in-game days. With the money they make, I restore the main character HP and buy every item that increases stats. Night Market is a great place to get these items as they are restocked every day and tend to sell candies that permanently increases character stats. Funnily enough, due to the lack of main story progress, the game won't reward us with any better equipment even when fighting stronger enemies, that's why candies is our main goal. Additionally, after the first in-game day, the enemies that will spawn on their respective locations will have fixed level, meaning even if we level up the character to level 10, the monsters we will face in the first biome will stay low level. However, leveling up on those low level creatures might take some time, so I've got a better idea. Several enemies in the game has a chance to drop carnival tickets that let us enter the carnival. One of those enemies is a bone bard that spawns at night, which deals up to 14 damage, meaning he isn't really a threat to the main character right now. The next following in-game days looked more or less like this. Now that I've leveled up my character, it's time to use the carnival tickets. When a character enters the carnival with a ticket in its inventory, he may choose to play one of 3 games with different rewards. Each of these is a game of chance, meaning luck will determine the success of each roll and focus is sadly disabled for this event. That's why I equip every item that increases my luck stat. There are various rewards to choose from, like chaos reduction, extra life, but the one that I'm most interested in is the level increase. Since I've gathered a few tickets, I can enter the carnival multiple times. Let's see how it goes. Even though my luck is 77, there was a risk of failing this event and dying, but this method is easily the fastest to level up. Interesting alternative to this approach is using a vision scroll to reveal endgame biome. If we get lucky and reveal the alluring portal, this portal becomes usable. Yep, that's right, we don't need to travel there by boat, possibly facing the Kraken. Enemies who dwell there are high leveled, but they still won't drop any decent loot. However, they will give much more gold and experience. With the base equipment, some enemies might be slightly tricky to deal with. It's better to be careful there. Now with all that being said, there is nothing stopping our hero from obtaining enough power-ups to increase their dodge chance to basically become Neo. Finally, there is one more cheese I need to mention. The level cap in this game is level 14. Total experience required for that level is 10,000. For whatever reason, upon obtaining that maximum level, the experience is set to 100,000. And with that much experience, the Inspire ability that provides experience to nearby characters is a whopping 9,000 experience. That way, our trapper can level up his friends to max level simply by standing next to them. With level 14, our moneymakers finish studying economics and sell cryptocurrencies to earn a fortune at the Dark Carnival. Now that I have unlimited money and reached level cap, it's time to complete the storyline. Trapper's chance to evade every attack is almost 100% now, which means there's nothing that can stop her anymore. Here I face high level enemies by failing to destroy the monument. As you will notice, it's not really a fair fight. Sadly, I cannot use this character exclusively to clear dungeons, as the game requires you to bring your entire party. I believe you can imagine how the rest of the game went. Here's the final battle. Spoiler warning, it's not going to be very exciting as my inventory is filled with consumable items, so it would be very hard for me to lose this challenge right now. This technique isn't always going to work on the hardest difficulty, as you might have hard time accumulating 12 resistance early on and chaos frequency is very high, so there isn't much time to achieve this. There are certain events that might help you though, like Wishing Well, which may increase your maximum focus, evade or defense. One event that takes place in the first biome is particularly interesting. Ancient Ruins event that appear randomly in the Guardian Forest rewards you with one of the 3 bows that normally wouldn't be available during this stage of the game. One of the possible bow to acquire here is the Angler Bow. This bow lets you restore the focus during the combat, which essentially means our turn may never end as we do not take damage in most of these combats anyway. Obviously this strat is very grindy, so it probably won't be used in the speedrun of this game. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I will post the raw footage of the run in the following days if any of you is interested to see it. Take care guys.